Welcome back for another helping of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. I'm Ross Bolen here with my buddy Barrett Dudley to bring you the best TV shows and movies weekly in an easily digestible podcast packed with laughs. Barrett, my friend, how are you doing today?
Well, I was doing okay, and then I sat down in the studio and I started prepping for this podcast, and I glanced over and I could see myself in the monitor over there.
Yeah?
And wow, I'm just a pasty bitch.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah.
We're right in the dead of just like, oh my God, can you see through my skin right now? I am so white.
I feel your pain, sir.
Like,
as a fellow white man.
I had started to notice it with it like this week.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You know,
this is
like,
that time of year, Barrett.
You look down and you're just like, oh, this is awful.
This isn't good.
Who would want to touch me?
Who would want this?
Who would want this?
Who could love this?
Who could love this?
It's become an issue for me the
and
last
then I just
couple
saw
weeks,
myself
Barrett.
on the monitor and I was like, oh, good God. I shouldn't be on camera right now. Where's makeup? Where's makeup? I'm gonna have to go get a spray tan.
Last couple
I'm
weeks,
only half kidding.
People have started saying things to me about my paleness. I'm not joking. This is the time of year every year where people are like, "Man, you're really fucking white," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is what happens in the winter.
Yeah,
There's no sunshine or beaches for me to go get my tan on."
Hate the damn winter. I tweeted today, 52 days until we get daylight.
I saw that.
We get to save the daylight again.
I saw that. Very exciting stuff.
You know, it can't get here soon enough. As somebody responded to us, and I wholeheartedly agree.
Oh, yeah. On Twitch, actually, twitch.tv/BossRollin', where you can now watch live when we record episodes of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, as well as on youtube.com/Bolen Media, where you can watch live or full video of each episode after the fact. They're not live on YouTube. They're put up after the fact. I've seen comments in both places about how pale I am, which is starting to become...
Yeah.
I may have to consider the spray tan with you.
I know. Well, now that we are, you know, we're on-screen personalities. We're talking heads.
It's
here.
not lame anymore.
Yeah,
we can do that.
We can do that. It's totally fine.
We're gonna come in one day, and Barrett and I are just gonna be bronze gods, and y'all are gonna be so confused. But I'm gonna do the Ross from Friends, where they spray one side over and over until I'm black. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Did you know a man in real life? This is real news. Requested a trial by combat using Japanese swords to resolve a dispute with his ex-wife?
I did not know that. How did that go? How did that go over for him?
I'm not quite sure, but this has been making headlines the last 2 days, about 24 hours, I guess.
Okay.
But this dude in Des Moines, is that how it's pronounced? Iowa?
Des Moines, yeah.
Apparently, he's a huge Game of Thrones fan. Trial by combat, obviously utilized in Game of Thrones repeatedly. Mostly by Tyrion. In fact, does anyone ever... is it just him? I'm trying to think. Surely there was another trial by combat.
Might just be him that we see utilize it.
At least twice.
Cersei is planning on it. And then they get rid of trial by combat.
Yes, they outlaw it.
Yeah,
to avoid...
Thanks to the High Sparrow, a.k.a. Jonathan Pryce, a.k.a. one of the mini-popes that are gracing big screens and small. As of late.
That was like their version of gerrymandering back when you could remove trial by combat for a time if your current leader was a criminal.
If it made, just
to make sure.
If it was politically
advantageous.
Advantageous, thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, anyway, this dude went all in, and he actually requested a trial by combat, which has never been explicitly banned or restricted as a right in these United States, he says, and was used as recently in 1818 in Britain. In a British court, apparently. 1818.
Only just a short 200 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows, but 1818, not really that... I guess it's all relative, but I can't believe he threw that year out as recent.
Yeah.
Recently in 1818, yeah. Anyway, good for this guy. That's a hell of an effort. I don't think it's going to work out.
Probably not.
But...
Cannot imagine
I believe
that going.
This is the first time we've seen trial by combat brought into real life.
Yeah.
So, there you go. We got a great show today. We'll be discussing The Witcher through episode 6. Witcher Hive, stand up and stay standing, please. Then we're diving into HBO's new Jason Bateman-made The Outsider, based on best-selling Stephen King novel.
So we have
The Outsider.
we have The Witcher.
The Witcher.
And then we have The Outsider.
Indeed.
We're talking about The Outsider and The Witcher. We have one Witcher, one Outsider to talk about.
Not to be mistaken with Outsiders, the book and film that we watched in middle school.
About leather jacket wearing grease monkeys.
And friendship and family. I don't really remember what it was about.
All I
know
remember
this,
is
Barrett.
like they worked on, like they were grease monkeys.
And they get
greasers, not grease monkeys, greasers.
People are getting greasers, grease monkeys. What's the difference?
They had to have come from the same. The same.
Yeah, surely.
They call grease monkeys is.
I think it's the same thing. That's what you call a mechanic, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, we haven't just lost all of our mechanic listeners out there.
No, it's slang term for a mechanic.
I know, but is it like is it
offensive?
Is it now offensive?
Is it a
you never know in
derogatory-
2020?
What do you call someone who's anti-mechanic? A mechanist?
An anti-mechanite.
Because isn't the Machinist a Christian Bale movie? Where
The
he lost
machinist.
Where he lost like 120 pounds.
Yeah.
Another one of those.
Yeah.
Man, it's cool how we tie things together here.
Oh yeah,
Isn't
a lot
it?
of pop culture references here.
Oh God,
and that is because, of course, we love to give you pop culture references here. We also love to get the cash monies.
It's for the cash money.
It's mostly for the cash.
We
monies.
make them in exchange for the cash monies.
Yeah.
One Witcher, one Outsider.
Okay, yeah.
And then we're
going to
do Oscar noms.
Yeah.
Talk about some Oscar noms at the end. A lot of TV and movies we've been watching, folks. It's a great start to 2020 so far, but all this watching can take a toll on your eyes, which brings us to our first sponsor. This episode of OCC is brought to you by Felix Gray.
Beautiful.
You may not
segue.
realize it. I know, I'm the best. But the average American blasts our eyes with bright screens for 11 hours every day, and when you consider you're watching TV, you've got your cell phone, you're on your computers. Most of us have multiple screens on our computers at this point. If you're at work or whatever, I mean, I'm legit staring at a screen every waking hour of my day at this point. It's crazy. And you cannot eliminate extensive screen time from your life. It's just not possible. But you can protect your eyes with a pair of Felix Gray blue light filtering glasses available in both prescription and non-prescription. The majority of us Americans, we live with tired, dry eyes, blurry vision, headaches caused by screens. I can tell you each and every day by the end of the day, roughly 9, 10 p.m., my head starts to hurt, my eyes start to tire, my vision starts to blur, my contacts start to melt inside of my eyes. And I got to throw on my Felix Grays. It's instant relief, 90% of high energy blue lights filtered out, 99% of glare. So usually at the end of the day, I take out my contacts, I get in bed, watch 30 minutes or, watch one of our shows that we're knocking out or 30 minutes of a movie. I've got my glasses on. I feel so much better. No glare on the TV. They're the best. Felix Gray.
For the non-contact havers or glasses wearers, I wear Felix Grays at my day job staring at a computer screen. So
Got to protect the
relief,
peepers.
also protection during the screen viewing hours of the day.
Absolutely.
Either way. How about both?
Absolutely. And
Why not
non-prescription.
both?
Non-prescription, like we said. You don't even have to be a blind person like me to enjoy the protection of Felix Gray. I have the Faraday frames in black, in case you were curious about which frames in particular I chose. My style, Felix Gray frames are handcrafted from the same high-quality materials used in high-end designer frames like organic Italian acetate, German-engineered steel. Yeah. Prescription, non-prescription, they've got readers, Barrett, adult, kid sizes. Don't go another day looking at screens without the help of some Felix Grays. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/OCC for free shipping and 30 days of risk-free returns or exchanges. That's felixgrayglasses.com/OCC, FELIXGRAY glasses.com/OCC. Barrett, what's coming and what do we have so far on patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles, the only place on the whole of the internet that you can get more OCC ad-free each month in exchange for supporting the show?
Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. We have 2 episodes up so far.
Yeah.
The first one of the month is great if you are getting ready for Oscar month, which is February, because we break down what we saw on the Golden Globes. A lot of celeb talk, a lot of nom talk, a lot of movie talk, a lot of actress talk.
At this point, if you missed the Golden Globes, it's almost even more important that you listen because you need to be prepared for what's coming with the Oscars.
Correct.
And we'll get some of that today.
When we mention the current darling 1917, perfect lead-in to our second episode of the month where we talk about 1917. We went and saw it. It's a 2-hour thrill ride. Hold on to your butts. Look at this technical filmmaking achievement. I highly recommend everybody go see it. The feeling of the people on the interwebs is currently that 1917 has the best shot of winning.
Has a lead, perhaps.
Yeah.
With every passing day that since we saw it. We saw it Sunday evening. As I said, not the best time to see it, got to say. Barrett and I rode 3 Sunday evening.
Yeah.
The blood pressure was high. The blood pressure was high, but every passing day since then, Barrett, it has grown in prestige in my mind.
I feel like it's doing the same culturally, which is why it's just really it's blazing a path straight to a big win next month. Coming next week, you'll have to stay tuned. But are we gonna? I think we're gonna do a throwback movie club.
I'm very excited about this. We have not chosen yet.
We have not chosen. Stay tuned to the Twitters to find out which movie we will be doing.
We'll throw out a poll on Twitter. How about that?
We could do that.
Let's do a poll.
I've been digging around the HBO and the Netflix and the Amazon,
seeing what's in there,
seeing what sounds like a something to take a chunk out of.
That makes sense. We want to do one that's streaming so that people
that everybody can go watch
it. Get a piece of that. Yeah.
And then finally, we will of course have our hotline extravaganza for the members of the Mollusk
Militia exclusive
call
hotline.
In, voice your opinions.
Oh yeah, baby.
The whole shebang, whatever you want. If you're new to the Patreon, go listen to last month's hotline call episode to just hear how it's done.
Oh
just
God,
nothing but people just absolutely slaying their phone calls.
It was 5.0 on December 21st. Hotline call extravaganza 5.0 from December 21st. It was probably the best one we've done so far.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
People are saying that, yeah.
More OCC, one place, patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles, ad-free, 4 episodes a month in addition to the normal ones if you're in the Mollusk Militia, 3 if you're in the Crustacean Nation. Come through, support OCC, Clam Fam, and get yourself some
gotta tear up, baby.
ad-free premium content in exchange. Barrett, time to talk The Witcher through episode 6. We're continuing coverage of The Witcher.
Yes. Yeah.
Starring Henry Cavill, whatever, on Netflix.
I call this little battery of episodes that we watched here.
Yeah.
The Witcher gets a girlfriend.
Yeah. Hot girlfriend, by the way.
She's a nice-looking lady.
She's a very attractive woman.
I'll say that.
Beautiful.
Say that much.
She takes care of her body. She's hot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, things really heated up. 5 and 6 were like the first 4 episodes. We met all the characters, right? We've set the stage. All hell's broken loose all over the place. Bunch of different people trying to get their hands on our girl. Geralt running around doing fucking missions with the bard. People are singing songs and shit. We've got 3 different timelines going. I don't exactly know which one is which, but you do, or someone does.
Yeah. I have a good grasp on it.
Yeah. And
also for everybody that has kind of clued us in that there's like a website provided by Netflix and The Witcher where you can see the timelines.
People won't stop sending this to me.
I'm not going to that because I'm enjoying like sussing it out for myself.
Yes,
I will go look at it after I finish the season. And I can be like, yes, okay.
Yeah, people.
I was right about that.
I'm like, I don't want anything spoiled. They're like, no. You can just read to where. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm still confused about stuff. I need that stuff to suss itself out in my brain so that I understand what I'm watching. Yeah. But okay, let's start with episode 5. It was called Bottled Appetites. Okay, and as we said, Geralt of Rivia and Yennefer of Vindenburg. Vindenburg? I think that's right. I'm pretty confident. Finally brought together. Sparks are flying almost immediately, but we start off the episode with Geralt fishing for what's called a djinn?
Yeah, djinn.
It's spelled D-J-I-N-N.
A djinn. And it's a
genie?
It's the genie. It's a Witcher's word. It's this world's word for a genie.
Okay, and it's in a bottle at the bottom of a lake, and he needs 3 wishes because he can't sleep. That's the gist of it.
That's the gist of it, yes.
And
that's the gist of the djinn, if you will.
Indeed. And Jaskier, what's the bard's name? Jaskier? He and Geralt get into it. Suddenly he's ordering off wishes, and before you know it, something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And Mans cannot breathe or is bleeding out of every hole in his face, and there's a problem.
The djinn, what happened was the djinn came for his neck.
Went straight for the neck.
Went straight for the neck.
As the djinn is wont to do. And Geralt's got to save this dude's ass. It strangles him, I guess, is what happens to Jaskier. And
like what I imagine. You can't see the djinn. The djinn appears to be invisible. I feel like the djinn picks up like a big ass branch and like whacks him in the throat with it. And that's what it looks like. He's got like he can't talk. He's having trouble breathing. His neck is all swollen.
Yeah.
He's choking and spitting up blood. So I just feel like the invisible djinn just like picked up a massive branch and just like
smacked him with it.
Whacked this dude right in the jugular. Speaking of Invisible Man remake coming with Elizabeth Moss, we saw the trailer for that. When we saw 1917.
Yeah, dude, That looks intense.
Looks intense.
It does look intense.
Shouts to Kevin Bacon for the last time they did that, and Elizabeth Shue.
Kevin Bacon.
Love Elizabeth Shue.
Why Kevin Bacon?
Because he's the Invisible Man from like the 1998 version or whatever.
But it wasn't called the Invisible Man.
It was. It was called. Was it not?
No, it wasn't. Kevin Bacon Invisible movie. I'm the best Googler in the world, by the way. I can Google anything. Hollow Man is what it was called.
Hollow Man.
The year 2000, yeah. That was a tight movie, dude.
Okay.
I've seen Hollow Man, I bet, 5 times.
Is
that weird?
It's like an all-time, it's up there with Shooter as like an all-time cable movie.
Yeah, and it's kind of sexy, too, because he's like stalking people invisibly. It's very creepy, but kind of sexy. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Good movie. Kevin Bacon. I was once told that I look like Kevin Bacon, which is just not even close to being accurate, and it was racist, frankly.
Well, the thing is, Kevin Bacon is
is
6 degrees away from everybody. So.
Oh yeah, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Didn't he lose all of his money in the pyramid
He was
scheme
involved
thing?
in.
He was one of those guys.
He had some money with Bernie Madoff. Yeah.
I almost said with Benioff. That's how bad Benioff's reputation has gotten in my brain.
Yeah,
I now put him.
He's also been known for wasting some money. So.
Him and Bernie are in the same category in my brain now.
Sorry. Digression. Yes.
Oh yeah. What were we talking about?
The Djinn, Jaskier.
Oh yes. Okay. So
Witcher has to carry Jaskier. He's trying to get him some help. He goes to the town.
magical medical treatment though.
The kind of the medic is like, no. This is not regular normal shit that I can treat.
Right.
You need magic help, and there's only one.
We have a mage here though.
Of those.
It happens to be Yin.
Yeah.
I love the nickname, by the way.
Yen is off, by the way. We kind of introduced this episode. She's off going rogue. She's disappeared.
Yeah.
She quit her job because she was like, enough of this shit. Thought I was going to be doing cool, fun stuff.
Right.
And instead, my boss is trying to have his wife off because she can't provide a male heir.
Right.
I'm done with this shit. I'm out.
Yes.
And now she's giving guys magical Viagra.
Yeah. And like throwing magic orgy parties for her own entertainment, basically.
That's what it looked like to
me.
Which,
frankly, is probably what I would do if I was her. I don't know if that was like if you're thinking of like what could I do to keep myself busy.
But here's the thing: give me like a breakdown percentage wise? How many nights do you just stand up there at the head of all of it with your sexy mask on, just observing and enjoying? Versus how many times do you
get in there?
You got to get in there, right? Like, I mean,
it really depends on the crowd you've got going, I guess. Like, is it, you get sick of these people? Are they gross? I don't know. Probably twice a week I get in there.
Pretty comical relief when she like says the safe word and everybody like snaps out of it and is like, oh my god, why is my dong out?
Whoa, what were we doing in here? I love that there's safe words being used as like what, and they're always silly.
Yeah,
both the ones we get familiarized with, very silly. Excuse me. I loved the orgy and all that going on though. That was very, very. There was multiple funny moments in both of these, in every episode really. The show's done a good job of inserting comedy. Like when the bard is dying, and the regular doctor tells him like, "Hey man, I can't do this," and I'm pretty sure he's gonna die, and the bard goes, "Geralt, fuck!" He just like it was really funny for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. Fuck Geralt. What else? Okay, so. Yin is the mage in this town.
Yeah.
And she has turned everybody with her magic. The mayor's butt-ass naked. She's throwing orgy parties in his house. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. The mayor tells Geralt to bring her some apple juice.
Yeah.
And that's his entry. That's his
baby
way
gets
in.
what baby wants. You know what I mean?
Baby gets apple juice.
Yeah.
I love apple juice, by the way. Shouts to Martinelli's. And Geralt, okay, explain this to me. Is he initially immune to her spells? Because up front, there's like a weird thing. She's like, hey, whoa, why are you not joining in on the orgy, hot guy?
Yes, he is immune to
that version of her spells anyway.
Of whatever she is using.
Because then she kisses him and sends him on a rampage, beating the shit out of everybody in town.
That's a good point that I didn't really think of. He's immune to some stuff, but she obviously
was able to use something,
She's able to use something,
to
kind of control him.
So she wants the djinn for herself. We don't know why up front, but it turns out it's because...
She's being very opportunistic. She sees this chance to help, but she's going to use her spooky powers to, like, trap the djinn, basically, and use the last wish.
Right. That's what... I was confused by what the end game was for her in capturing the djinn.
I do not know the mechanics of her... capturing the djinn. She like wanted the djinn inside of her, I think.
It was like a childbirth type of situation.
She like wanted to be the genie, maybe. I don't know. she needed to use the gin in the final wish to get preggers.
Yeah. Yeah. She looked hot she drew something on her stomach at one point, trying to control the thing. No, it was fucking chaos. It was wild.
But she's made a critical error here. She thinks Jaskier had the wishes.
He does.
Turns out he didn't.
Turns out it's Geralt. He comes in and tries to explain to her, look, lady, what the hell are you doing? You're going to die here. I'm trying to save you. And he asks her what she wants, and she screams out like, I want everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, that's going to become a problem.
Thirsty for power, this one.
Very much so, yeah. You can tell she's a good person, but she very much has this chip on her shoulder and a power-hungry vibe going on. So Geralt uses his final wish, which we do not get to hear, and saves her ass. Everything returns to normal. The djinn escapes. Again, we can't see it, so there's no... It was like, at one point, he, like, shot his fucking Geralt power at it when it like, shot across the water, and I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
That was earlier in the episode. Just to sow more confusion for you. What else?
That's about it. Then
that was it.
He uses his last wish. The djinn goes away. He saves Yen. They collapse into a pile of sexiness.
Yes.
And then they bang it out.
And then he falls asleep.
Yeah.
Gets some sleep in the end. So this episode was basically Geralt needs a nap and gets a girlfriend.
Yeah. And what turns out what he needs to get that shut eye is a little action.
That's all he needed. Sometimes that's all we need.
Yeah.
Moving on to episode 6, Rare Species. Starts with us seeing the dude Mousesack, our bearded wizard guy from back in.
That also happened in episode 5.
Was that episode 5?
No. We watched the give me a word for these guys. They're
Nilfgaard.
But what is he? A shapeshifter. We watched the shapeshifter take down Mousesack and turn into him.
Oh shit! I thought that was 6. I had it at the beginning of 6. That happened in 5. Whatever. It happened at some point.
6.
I think they're called Dopplers in this.
They are
in this
Dopplers.
world.
Yeah, which doppelganger, that whole thing.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
But they're shapeshifters. They can take on anybody's form.
Creepy dude, that guy, the Doppler that we meet.
Yeah.
And yes, took Mousesack dead.
So now, with the intention of Mousesack's going to go into Enchanted Forest and get Princess Cirilla, bring her out to our boys from Nilfgaard.
Exactly. So
he is on that mission in episode 6.
In disguise.
Yeah, he's there, he's getting her, he's bringing her out.
Right on. And we have Geralt finishing a monster hunt, shockingly starting another one immediately. He's asked by a guy named Borch 3 Jackdaws to join him and 2 warrior babes, Tia and Via, to hunt a green dragon. Now we've got a dragon in episode 6 all of a sudden. And this dragon hunt has been organized by some king, and there's 4 different teams going for the prize, and the prize is, if you get the dragon, you get to keep all the gold the dragon's been hiding.
Yeah. And then you also get a vassal state.
And you get a vassal state, which is just
huge.
That's the biggest thing you could get, Barrett, as a prize.
That's like on everybody's wish list.
Oh, that's a major award.
It's like money,
cash monies,
sex, cash monies, sexy times.
Cash money, sexy times with yen.
Vassal states.
Yeah,
those are the 3.
In the Witcher universe, those are the 3 most desired things.
Yeah, cash money's a.k.a. coin.
Coin in the Witcher universe.
Feel free to use the hashtag coins for the loins.
There you go. Yeah, no, Barrett's trying to get that one rolling.
Which I started well before Geralt started getting a little bit. So he did. The coins got him the loins, people.
There you go. Hey, I can't disagree with that. Was it in 5 or 6 when the bard starts singing and she grabs him by the penis and he says, "O Valley of Penis" instead of "O Valley of Plenty"? Because that was another moment that got a very big laugh out of me. In fact, I think I put "O Valley of Penis" as a caption on our Instagram and Twitter.
Which I can't quite think. Where is he? He's singing?
He's up against a wall and she like grabs him by the junk and he's like, "O Valley of Penis." And I don't know why, it was hilarious to me.
Is it Yennefer doing that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's the last time. That's previous episode. Yeah.
Right on. So anyway, they're going for the dragon, right? There's like a gang of dwarves. There's like Yennefer's there with a white knight, this fucking random douchebag knight.
The name's like Ick or something.
Yeah,
Sir Ick.
Sir Ick of Denisil or something.
Yeah, he's a real tool bag.
Yeah, he tools out on some friendly-looking hungry monster for no fucking reason at all. Like totally freaks out on it. Refuses to let Yennefer sleep in his tent, and then ends up with diarrhea before a rival slits his throat.
That's right.
Tough.
All true.
Tough looks for Sir Ike, who had a shit name to begin with, and spends this episode getting cucked over and over and over before he dies.
Yeah.
Pooping.
He had to go.
He really did have to go. Borch falls off a cliff, and we're doing like the Lord of the Rings, trying to get to the Mines of Moria type of situation on the fucking side of a mountain. And this dude falls off a cliff, but it doesn't matter. He ends up being the golden dragon.
The dragon. He is the golden dragon.
But what?
The dragon of all dragons.
Okay, so
Ross.
but him and the chick that fell,
Uh-huh.
they both live?
Yeah, because
the chick's in the cave. I'm pretty sure. Because remember, he's like, hey man, Geralt, you'll save us all, but first you must let go of me. You got to let me fall and die. And so he lets him fall and die. And then the chick, there was a chick hanging off the side of the cliff too.
But the two warriors.
Yeah, but one of them,
they both fall.
Oh, they both fall. I'm sorry.
Fall.
And then they're both in the cave.
Yeah,
though.
because I assume he turns into a dragon under the fog and swoops them both up.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
Didn't really consider how he survived that, but I guess. So yeah, can he just turn whenever he wants?
Yeah, that's
from
what it
Gold
seems
Dragon.
like.
Damn, that's this dude's good friend to have. This guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Fucking Borch 3 Jackdaws.
Yeah.
Cool character. So yeah, Yennefer wants this dragon heart to cure her infertility, which is, she gave up the ability to have kids when she transformed herself, right? That was part of the deal. And I don't know. What else?
Yeah, they
fight off all the other dragon hunters. They kill everybody else that was...
They figure it out.
Yeah.
They what's going on here because they are able to get to the dragon first.
And the
Yennefer
green dragon's dead.
Freezes all the dwarfs. Green dragon is dead.
But it's cradling the egg.
Which is why
he wanted to protect the egg.
Yeah, that's
that
the whole
was the
thing.
whole mission.
They got to protect the kid, the baby dragon, because they're all dying out.
Okay.
That's why the mama dragon had like burned. She was enraged. She was protecting her egg. But mom's dead, and the egg is safe. Thank you to Yen and Geralt, and then we finish off with a big blow up fight. Their first fight as a couple. You hate to see it.
Oh yeah. So are all their fights gonna end with sexy time?
And the fight is well, middle of this episode, by the way, we basically get Yennefer and Geralt professing love. Essentially, they're like we're super into each other.
Yes, and it's two people who have never normally experience that kind of issue.
This type of yeah. Turns out, as Borch 3 Jackdaws kind of reveals that Geralt's third wish was basically to not lose Yennefer.
Ah, that's so sweet, Barrett.
But now Yennefer is upset because that means he wished it. He wished their connection into existence.
So is it real?
How can she know if it's real?
How can she ever know, Barrett? That's a problem moving forward.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on.
And that pretty much rounds out these 2 episodes.
Except, well, let's do what's her name? Ciri. What's her full name?
Oh yeah, Cirilla.
And what's Rat Boy's name? Dara, something like that. Whatever.
Dara. Yeah.
They're being led around by the Doppler, right? They realize something's off. Ciri takes off into the woods. Her and Rat Boy have a falling out. Her storyline so far, I gotta say, is the one thing where I'm like, I don't care about this little girl.
We're gonna talk Turkey in a second. Wrap up this storyline so we can.
Then there's a Black Knight who grabs her and drags her off to some town. We don't really know anything about this dude yet. He's scary, he's stoic, he's got a fucking helmet. And then he's in a room with Ciri, takes off the helmet, becomes human, offers her food, and says, all I ever wanted was to help you fulfill your destiny. We find out his name. It's Cahir, Cahir.
Yeah.
And
a lot of C names going around here.
That's okay. So that's the situation with her, but unfortunately, it turns out the Doppler is there, not actually Cirilla.
The Doppler. Yeah,
it's not Cirilla. Whole thing was a trap.
Doppler is upset. He's like, you didn't tell me what she really was.
Yeah, he's very pissed.
He turns into Cahill.
They fight. He runs off, and then Cahir is greeted by this other sorceress, who tells him,
who is Fringilla,
Yennefer's former classmate.
Exactly.
Says, you're going to be fine. Your destiny is all intact, and the white flame still burns in you.
Right.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, and they keep referencing like a hymn. So there's like it's referenced a couple of times in this episode and maybe in the past that like Nilfgaard are off on like a religious zealot extremism kick. Basically.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they're doing some weird like cult style bullshit or whatever.
Fuck yeah.
And that's what the white flame, I guess, has to do with, Lord of Light, the whole thing.
Yeah,
we know the deal.
we're gonna need to get into their chants at some point. We need some good chants because we had Game of Thrones. We had plenty of chanting. We had plenty of sayings. We had
we checked our dragon box, by the way.
We did check our dragon box, which is huge.
Yep.
There have been lots of little moments in this show where you see things borrowed, or I don't know if they're borrowed from, but certainly either inspired by or an homage to.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Game
are
of Thrones, Lord of the Rings,
in which anybody that is like a true fantasy genre fan will just say, well, these are just tropes of fantasy,
which is fair. Yeah,
in general, they all have this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
but it reminds you of those, I guess.
Of course,
the great fantasy.
Yeah, because that's what those of us that are like a little bit more, just kind of casual fans of like the big properties, those are the ones that we know about and that we've seen and that we can reference and relate to.
True.
So we see that stuff and it is, we can't help but recall those other things that we've seen and then do the comparisons. So, it is what it is.
Let's talk turkey. You want to do turkey?
I want to talk turkey. So I'm still enjoying this show. And it's largely because of 3 performances, and that is Yennefer, Geralt, and Jaskier. All doing really, really well. They're all very believable. I also think that they were perfectly cast, especially Jaskier. The Bard is crushing this role. He's like, they nailed this guy. He's funny. The music is good. He can obviously sing.
I would say he's the star of this series so far.
He's kind of stealing.
He's breaking out.
He steals his scenes for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm still. I like everything that they're doing. I did not think that episode 6 was good at all. It was the worst episode.
Okay. I thought 5 was my fave so far.
I thought 5 was great.
Kicked it up
and
a
then
notch.
6 is not good.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the dragon story.
It was for a lot of reasons. One, first let's talk about this. It's 2020, so and I'm not saying that every show has to be about like progressive feminism and like women that enjoy work and don't need a family, right? Like it's fine to have stories about women that want kids. Women do want kids. A lot of women do want kids, so it's all fine.
I hope so.
It feels like this big turn in episodes 5 and 6 where we have Yennefer the Mage, who is clearly like super powerful, has all this stuff. And then it's, but her work is not fulfilling. What she really needs for her life to be complete is a child.
Yeah. Like, but it's the thing she gave up too, like, which makes it all the more desirable.
And they sprinkle in these lines for her where she's like, well, my choice was taken away. But not really. You walked in there and you kind of said, I know the choice I'm making. Please, do the whole transformation.
I found that to be odd, that she was saying it was taken from her. And I was like, didn't you volunteer for this?
And
Wasn't
then
it your fucking idea?
And then she didn't like the work. And now it's like, and so what I really need is a kid. So it just feels a little bit, it's hard not to notice that now because we have those types of conversations, right?
Sure.
Okay. All that aside. While that's going on, this episode also leans into other stereotypes that I couldn't quite tell whether they like knew that they were doing to be funny or if they're pulled from like the books and the video games and they thought they needed to hit them.
Like what?
Like the ultra aggressive cackling dwarves.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Who are like, being little shits in the bar and like they've all got small dude complexes and they're attacking the bartender. And then they're like, I'm going to piss in his gruel. As if they're just like some like cracked out leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like that just seemed derivative and just kind of a weird stereotype to lean into.
But it's in a fantasy world, though.
I know, but I don't know. It just like again, like it's fine for the show to have this. This episode just started combining a bunch of things.
Fair enough.
That were rote and trite. Stereotypical, like it kind of
too on the nose for you, too much like obvious shit.
Too on the nose, and at the same time, you mentioned the Cirilla storyline, which I totally agree. I almost forgot about talking about it.
Yeah, it's
for this
not
episode
carrying any weight with
because
us.
It carries zero weight, and they're not giving us anything. They're nothing. It's what I can see them doing. And it's just like it's too obvious what they're doing is they're over here and they have they've got the Geralt Yennefer burner going, right? That thing is cooking. That's cooking with gas over here.
Absolutely.
They're making the food, right?
Yeah.
And then this one, this is what goes on top of this dish over here.
Right.
But it's not ready yet, and it needs to be ready when this one's ready.
Right.
And so they just have this one on like a very, very light simmer. The burner's barely on.
What an analogy.
And then they're gonna turn it up real quick for 7 and 8 so they can have these two storylines converge.
God, what a pro.
But this one sucks over here right now.
It does
because
suck.
nothing has happened since episode 1.
There's no flavor in that dish.
There's nothing going on over here. Cirilla's in the exact same position.
Bam.
She's being chased by the Nilfgaards.
Uh-huh.
The Nilfgaardians.
The Nilfgaardians.
And that's it. That's all we've got. The Enchanted Forest was stupid.
Yeah.
This Doppler is kind of stupid.
I don't get the Black Knight guy.
The Black Knight has told us nothing. We don't know shit about them.
You know what, dude? I couldn't agree with you more.
So they're just like saving this until the two storylines can converge, and it's just not like just from a storytelling perspective. They're not executing perfectly there.
No, they're not. You're right.
They're not executing very well at all.
You're right. The show for me absolutely is about those three characters right now. I care about Geralt, I care about Yennefer, I care about the Bard. They're great. All three of them are fantastic. Watching them on screen, they're always having fun. They've got great lines, good discourse. The adventures they're going on are kind of hit or miss here or there.
They're hit or miss, yeah.
The dragon one was kind of shitty. But all in all, we know the bigger picture is about, obviously, Geralt, Yennefer, and Cirilla are going to come together and form their own little fucking sort of family of sorts, if you will. I think that's
maybe so.
pretty clearly where we're headed. It just seems like that's cool, and I get that, but you got to make the Cirilla story more interesting for me on the side. Like, I don't give a shit about her friend, Rat Boy.
Dara,
I don't know what the fuck anything.
Yep.
I don't know what the deal is with the Doppler. That guy, for seemingly like the way he was set up, I was like, well, this is going to be the biggest problem of the season, probably. This is a really bad guy.
Then they just like call it out on the walk out of the forest.
That's all it took. Yeah, like it was not that hard to deal with that dude. So I'm with you. I'm having fun. I still very much enjoy the show. I need 7 and 8 to close hard. And based on the internet chatter thus far, they must do at least a decent job, because the general feel for the season was that it was well done, and that it was at least put it in a place to maybe do well in season 2. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how 7 and 8 go. You're very right. It is that Cirilla storyline on the side with the burner turned like just as barely on.
Yeah, I mean,
annoying the shit out of me.
Honestly, like I know that they wanted to introduce everything up front to kind of get you invested, multiple people put all like the pieces on the board, but right now it kind of feels like they really shouldn't have introduced that until like maybe like the 3rd or 4th episode.
Right? Because it's too slow, that storyline.
Yeah.
It's way too slow, so that you're forgetting it's even important or that what's even going on. Yeah.
And
that would have been a good idea.
Right. And they've got this device where they can kind of drag out the Geralt storyline because they're doing like the monster of the week type deal, which is it's fine. It's episodic, it's fun, it's enjoyable. Like we get to see some cool monsters. Again, this dragon one didn't really hit for me. I mean, just everything felt like it was so on the nose. Like,
it was a little over the top. It was a little, but then again, they sort of have found a way to crank up the fantastical elements of this show almost every episode. Where I'm like, wow, they're really going another level further. This one, it just didn't hit right so much. I don't think. Yeah, for you and me. But Witcher closing out The Witcher next week.
That's right.
The final 2 episodes, 7 and 8. So y'all come in prepared to talk penultimate and finale for season 1 of The Witcher on Netflix. Today's episode of OCC is also brought to you by Quip, makers of the Quip electric toothbrush, and they want you to know the one single discovery that matters most for your dental care. It is simply this, that if you have good habits, you are good. That means brushing for 2 minutes, twice a day, flossing regularly, no matter what brand you use. Quip makes that simple. Starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste, Quip's electric toothbrush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulses to guide a full and even clean. This happens to be my favorite feature of the Quip toothbrush, along with their automatic refills that get delivered to your house, and the toothpaste comes to your house as well on your schedule based on your subscription. The built-in timer is unbelievable, though. It makes you feel like you've left the dentist every time you finish brushing your teeth because your mouth is that clean, and it's a full and even clean, as they say, and I fucking love that feature. The Quip floss dispenser, they got into the floss game. It comes with pre-marked string to help you use just enough, Plus, Quip delivers fresh brush heads, floss, and toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months with free shipping, so your routine is always right. It's incredible. Join over 3 million healthy mouths and get Quip today starting at $25. You go to getquip.com/dragon right now, and you'll get your first refill free. That's your first refill free at getquip.com/dragon, spelled GETQUIP.com/dragon. Quip, the good habits company. Let's talk about HBO's The Outsider, episode 1. Barrett, I'm going to admit to you up front that I couldn't help myself.
You had to go too.
I tried to stop.
That's fine.
It started. I pressed it.
Very, very, very bingeable. Very cliffhangery.
Yeah, dude.
Look, first of all, shame on HBO. They did not do a good job of mentioning that first 2 episodes premiering this past Sunday.
Well, by good, no one. We didn't know. They just put them up, right? We knew the show was premiering, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
know. We knew. So, but I'm, you know,
it was weird.
Look, HBO, I'm over here doing other things, trying to get cash monies.
Yeah.
And I know that your show is premiering. It's a 1-hour drama, and you do nothing to be like, and it's 2 episodes for the first night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's a 2-hour window you got to
carve
out
know
there.
You know who lets me know when things are going to be 3-hour specials? The Bachelor. That's they're
true.
very good at that.
They are very good about this. It's every episode though, isn't it?
No. Well, no. 3 hours is those are the big ones. Two hours your standard dosage over there.
I'm trying to think what it would take to get me to watch 3 hours of The Bachelor, and it's not that hard. It's cash monies. It's the same answer.
Yeah.
Same answer.
Definitely the cash monies. Also, if you fast forward through the commercials, it takes it down a notch.
That's true.
You wait the next day, it's on Hulu. It's all out of there.
Oh sure, hon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I'm just thinking about Brendan Dassey and WrestleMania.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Oh. So yes, my fault. I was not prepared.
It's not really your fault.
I didn't have enough. I just didn't have enough bandwidth to get 32. All the Witchers, all the Outsiders.
Yeah. So we're doing 1 today.
So we're just going to talk 1.
But you got to walk us through it because I'll accidentally say shit from the other one.
Okay. All right. So based on a Stephen King novel.
Yeah. Not a fan. By the way, just up front, Stephen King, get it. One of the most respected, certainly maybe the most successful writer of all time. I think he's written like 7,000 books. I don't like his books. Okay? Just up front. I don't fucking like them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I've read like 3 or 4 of them now. I fucking don't like the way the dude writes. I can't help it. I thought the fucking, the Dark Tower series was dribble. I read the whole book, a full book, and had no clue what happened. How is that possible, sir? That being said, I realize Stephen King is beloved, and many of his properties have been turned into TV and movies. The most recently, It.
Yes.
Chapter 2 of which was total and utter trash.
Yeah, we got Castle Rock over on Hulu.
This guy's got more money than God.
Well known for just hits and misses, right?
For sure.
Big time.
For sure.
Also, pretty much everything he does involves some type of supernatural element.
Yeah.
So we know that going in.
Absolutely.
Here's what else we know going in. Written by Richard Price, the adaptation.
Oh, okay.
Richard Price of The Wire, of The Night of The Deuce.
Oh, wow.
He
accomplished.
Very, very much so. And so it should come as no surprise that episode 1 feels very, very, very much like a spiritual successor to The Night of, to me.
Oh, yeah, big time, dude. Especially in the way, it's almost the tone, maybe? Or something is the same.
Tone's the same. Similar, relatively similar plot line. Like a dude wakes up and is getting accused of a crime that he didn't do. Yeah. That we don't think he committed.
Right.
And very kind of dark and gritty feeling visually.
Do we have characters from The Night of on this one?
We've got actors. Oh, you bet your ass we do.
Yeah.
We've got one of our favorites. An HBO favorite, I should say. And his name is, it's too easy to remember, which is why I always forget it.
I bet I can find it quick.
Bill Camp.
I'm good at Google. Oh, you found it already.
Yeah.
Bill whom? Camp. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we got all kinds of guys.
He was our lead detective in The Night of.
Yeah.
Flip the script, Ross, because now
lawyer time.
Now he's the lawyer. Now he's the defense attorney.
Now he's a defense. They were like, we can't use Bill Camp again. The show's too similar. And they were like, wait. What if we have Bill on the other side of the law?
There you go. There you go.
Fucking
Turn
genius.
the tables.
Turn the tables. So
Jason Bateman directing this first episode. He is starring opposite.
Is he the showrunner?
Jason Bateman?
Yeah. What's his?
Not
what's his,
totally sure. I believe that he is producing.
I know he's getting a producer
and
credit.
He's doing some directing.
I'm just
I
curious.
don't know if he's the showrunner, quote unquote.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Directed by Andrew Bernstein, Jason Bateman, and Charlotte Brandstrom.
Okay.
Writing credits go to Stephen King and Richard Price. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then opposite Ben Mendelsohn, who another just fantastic actor.
Now, the one thing I'll say going into this, Barrett, that I was worried about, we got Jason Bateman, who plays Jason Bateman and everything he's in. Now, he plays a different version of Jason, but it's basically Jason Bateman. He's not a very wide-ranging character actor. Would you say that's fair?
I think that, yes, but through one, I did actually want to give him props because this does feel a little bit different.
For sure.
I feel like we're seeing some emotional range here that he does not really get to take advantage of in other places.
Yes, but I was worried about that going in because the combination of him and then Ben Mendelsohn is also very much sort of like it's Ben Mendelsohn. He's in a ton of shit.
I don't feel that way about him at all.
He's so good.
He is a character actor, though.
Yes, but it's the same kind of like grittier, I don't know how to, like darker, sort of more gruff character every time. So it's like, I didn't want Bateman and Mendelsohn to sort of take me out of like, they're just two very big names for me. Like two huge dudes that I love all their work. So many things they've been in, I'm obsessed with. The first thing I ever saw Ben Mendelsohn, and I always credit is, oh my God, what's the name of it? Ryan Gosling movie, The Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines, yeah.
Where I was like blown away by his performance, and I got sucked in to that fucking Florida Vacation Netflix show. Bloodline, one season of which was incredible, almost entirely due to his performance being fucking epic. And then that show fell apart. But so I was a little worried going in just because we're going to have those two guys. We know we're going to get all these other HBO familiar faces. We've got the fucking cop from The Night Of as the attorney and shit. Like, I was just a little worried about, okay, are we going to get enough differentiation from these guys to make this work? And it does. One episode in, I felt that too. Bateman did seem to stretch a little more.
Yep.
Like, I didn't feel like I was just watching Ozark. I felt like he put enough stank on whatever he's doing to make it a little bit different.
Sure.
And then he never messes with his hair, though, does he? Is it always the same?
Pretty similar hair. That's very, very good point.
Might be a move.
It's a little
just
longer.
A suggestion?
A little longer than it was in the Arrested Development days.
It is, yes. In Arrested Development, he went short at one point there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I guess let's jump into the plot.
Yeah.
Because we don't have much time.
Guy walking a dog finds a mutilated and bloody...
badly mutilated child.
Dead boy in the park/woods.
Frankie Peterson.
Next thing we know, cops turn up. They're sussing it all out, figuring out evidence, witnesses, etc.
Oh, yeah. All of which points to one
Turns
person.
out that all of the witnesses, all of the videotape, all of the fingerprints, all of the forensics all point to
one person. Terry Maitland.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman's
character.
And then we find out very quickly that, well, first of all, Jason Bateman seems quite convinced he didn't do this, and that he has
That's correct.
Terry Maitland is like, "What the hell are you talking about?" We're in a small
Georgia town. Everybody knows this guy.
Yeah.
It's like one of those ones where you know the cops by their first names.
They all know each other.
They all know each other.
The people know the cops.
He's unconcerned. He's a coach. It's Coach Maitland.
Yep. They go get him on the field.
The kids know him.
Yeah.
Everybody. He's a community guy. He's a good guy. He's a family man.
Coach guy in a small town community. Everybody knows him. Community leader, you could say.
Yeah.
So they go and they make a point of it, right?
Yep.
These cops are angered. Ben Mendelsohn's character pissed about the situation, so they go try to make it a big show by arresting him on the field.
And from their perspective, like they've got this guy in the
dead
bag.
to rights.
This is dead to right. Right. This is
caught him red-handed.
This is slam dunk. Yeah.
Exactly. What we quickly find out is much more complicated than that.
Yeah.
It turns out Terry Maitland was in two places at once, even.
That's correct. And we have video to prove that. We have forensics to prove it as well.
Very conflicting evidence.
Ross, here's the thing. Nothing is adding up.
Nothing, Barrett. Nothing through one episode of this show adds up at all. It's total and utter confusion. That's the gist of it. Terry Maitland being accused of a crime, a brutal and heinous murder of a child in an almost animalistic way. Like they asked, like, was this a fucking like a lion or an animal? No, this is a human.
Yep.
And there is some hooded figure
That
in
we do
this
see that,
town
yeah.
who we have to assume is the outsider. I don't know. I'm guessing. Who is it? A mask? He's hooded. Okay, he's got his hood on. He's doing the hoodie.
So he looked like the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah,
He
a little
looked
bit like
he
that.
had like a rock face,
Yeah,
basically.
but so every time we get a shot of him, there's like people moving by, and it's really hard. But I got I got a good pause screen on him so that I could fucking stare at him and scare the shit out of myself before I go to sleep. And I can't tell if it's a mask or if it's just supposed to be scary as fuck. But this dude hasn't said a word, or woman hasn't said a word. All it does is ominously watch, very nearly, very close by as shit goes down.
Yeah.
And that's we don't know what the fuck's going on there. That's it.
I feel like I know that they had to introduce that up front because they're like, here's the shifty thing that we don't know anything about yet.
It clearly has something to do with all this weirdness. Yeah.
But at the same time, I almost, it was like, because my head, and maybe we learn in episode 2, I haven't seen it yet, that this is definitely not right.
I've seen it.
But I'm like, oh, well, that guy is some creepy paranormal dude, and he can turn into anybody, and he's a Doppler.
That's what I thought. Yes,
it's that one dude from The Witcher.
Yes,
and he's over in The Outsider now.
Yeah,
one Witcher, one Outsider.
So that's what we all assumed, though, right?
Yeah, and that he can just take the form of anybody, and that's how Terry was in 2 places at once.
And he's wreaking havoc with this power that he has.
Boom,
for
bang,
some reason.
you know.
So you feel
put him
like
in a coffin.
That's a little bit. You were almost like, well, this is too upfront of an explanation.
Yeah, like it felt like because we know that Terry Maitland was in 2 places at once, and we've already been given a shot of like a creepy paranormal dude.
Yeah,
it feels too easy to make that jump immediately. Now we do get the scene. A small child, Terry's daughter, is standing. You know, she is completely rigid and upright like a board
in
her bed, and clearly something is speaking to her or in her room.
She
or communicating
she thought she
with
was
her
having a conversation with somebody
in some form or fashion,
which we believe to be this figure.
But right, and so that already gives us another clue that like something evil is like putting bad ideas in people's heads and convincing them to do evil shit.
Yeah, and there's I can't because I can't remember if this yes.
So that's
the gist of it.
Right. So I already like that's my only kind of complaint. I love the vibe. The acting is all
you know they're
phenomenal.
Going to flip it on its head because it could.
They have to.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
They would just be like, man, this is all really crazy, and here's the hooded figure that's clearly to blame. Like they would. It has to be spun some way.
That's true, and it is Stephen King. So I mean, we're probably going to get like a universally omnipotent turtle god here somewhere in episode 7 or something too.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Coming into fucking play. But so far so good. I mean, come on, man. In terms of like, I can't speak for you, but nothing has ever been more up my alley. It's on HBO. It's called The Outsider. It's starring Jason Bateman. It's creepy. It's dark. It's a little scary. Bring it on. Yeah, that's why I couldn't stop myself.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned last week, I don't think they're going 2 at a time here, so we will certainly be caught up through 3 for next week to discuss up to that point. We'll be all the way there.
Yes, sir. In fact, Barrett, what we'll do is, since the Oscars are not till February 9th, do you just want to hold our Oscar talk and we can do it next week?
We can hold Oscar talk, sure.
Let's do that since we're done for time for today. So let's hold our Oscar nomination talk. We'll discuss all those on next week's podcast, as well as The Witcher penultimate and finale.
We're going to finish up The Witcher
for season 1. We're going to do The Outsider episodes 2 and 3. So through episode 3 of The Outsider, what else? Do we have anything else we need to be mentally or physically prepared for? Let's leave it at that. Let's just say those 2 things, and if there's anything else, it'll be a surprise.
I believe that Curb starts next Sunday.
Does it?
Yeah. So we can. I mean, not that requires like deep, any type of deep
dive.
We
give it 10 minutes of laughter.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Together, if that is the case, and it did start, we will almost definitely. Be
Here's
Curb.
a prediction for something that I'll say next week about Curb Your Enthusiasm. That was funny.
Yeah. Man, Barrett, we had a fun. Remember when Larry did this? Remember when Larry did that?
Yeah, I do.
No, we're gonna
I
have a
do.
good time talking about Curb. But yes, it will not take up a whole lot of time during our podcast because it is a 20-minute comedy on HBO that requires about 3-4 minutes of discussion to fucking recap. So, all that coming next week. Witcher, Outsider, potentially Curb. Stay caught up. Get caught up. That will do it for today's episode of OCC.
My one note, just quickly, is the Oscar noms, while debatable every year, obviously, I feel very good about how we went about Movie Club in the year 2019.
Right?
Because we just really picked winners, man.
We killed it.
Basically everything we saw was nominated for something. So
That's how I felt about the Globes in general, because at STV2, the Golden Globes did. All the television shows we watched got nominated and won and stuff too. Maybe we should be in charge.
I agree. Yeah. Like I said, we're just a couple years away from somebody handing us the keys to a television show.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so fucking sweet. I won't be able to say fuck as much anymore. That'll be upsetting.
Well, I mean, you can be the writer. You can write fuck into it as many times as you want.
If we're on HBO, it's almost a requirement. You have to say fuck,
right?
Or no one will watch.
I'm gonna call my show The Outwitcher.
Oh God. Okay. Huge thanks to our sponsors again for supporting the show. Make sure you support them to support us. And if for some reason you don't need the greatest products known to man, which are brought to you by the sponsors of OCC, then you can support us directly in exchange for additional ad-free premium episodes of this podcast on patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we did our movie club this week. 1917, winner of Best Picture Drama at the Golden Globes, nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars as well, which we will discuss. We discussed in length on our movie club episode on patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles for a full hour. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Listen to that. We've got an old school movie club coming later. The Mollusk Militia will have their hotline call extravaganza, and we got something else in there as well. Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. Again, The Witcher, The Outsider, Curb. Follow us on social, Instagram, at Oysters, Clams, Cockles, Twitter, at Clams and Cockles, Facebook.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. Follow me, Ross Bolen, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at WRBolen, at WRBOLEN. And listen to my personal podcast, the Ross Bolen Podcast, also brought to you by Bolen Media, available wherever OCC is available. We talk, it's comedy and it's humor, but it's also mental health and animals and current events and news and sports and addiction and substance abuse and music and whatever the fuck I feel like talking about that particular day. Our most recent episode was called Houston Sports Apocalypse, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Barrett and I are too close and two Houston sports guys to discuss this, or even I can't even look at you while I say it, Barrett.
Yeah. It's,
I can't even. Don't, Barrett.
I won't.
Just don't.
You can follow me at Barrett Dudley.
Thank you.
On Twitter and Instagram, and check out Club Cool wherever you're listening to this podcast.
Club Cool.
We're getting in the booth.
Oh yeah.
Right after this.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'm gonna pepper my co-host Phil with questions about what is the meaning of this dry January nonsense.
Where's your stance? Give me 2 seconds on your take there.
Well, I'm personally very out on dry January.
Okay.
I
look forward to finding out why on Club Cool. Yeah. By the way, in the reverse of that,
everybody right now listening is like, oh, well, you're an alcoholic.
I did the reverse. I did How to Dominate Dry January on like 2 episodes ago. That's fucking hilarious. And
are you doing dry January?
Technically.
Well, okay.
I've been dry since October of 2017. It's dry fucking every.
But I meant so what is it called? What it would be called for you?
I'd have to not smoke weed.
I know. What's the name for that? There's got to be something.
Joe Rogan does
catchy.
it. It's in October, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But it's a tea break. It's a tolerance break is what it's called when you quit weed for a while. But no, I'm not doing that.
Low October?
I smoked less last week than the week prior. Is that good? There's my fucking dry January. How about that? Until our next helping.
Yeah.
Adios, muchachos.
Bye-bye.
Great one.